Hello, hello, Angel here. Thank you for stopping and coming back if you've been here before. And if this is your first time, thank you for being here. My name is Angel. Wait, did I say that? Wait, what? Yeah, I think I did. But just to be clear, my name is Angel. As you've seen from the title, we're going to be doing a witchy and tarot desk tour today. Hashtag what's on my desk. So I've watched quite a few of these kind of videos, and I really enjoy these kind of videos because I'm nosy and I really like to see other people's spaces and kind of see how they set out their space and maybe how they store decks, and I just think it's really, really interesting. So I thought it'd be fun to do that kind of video. So enough of that said, we're going to jump straight in and we're going to take a look. Let's do this. Okay, so this is my witchy space. Now I'm quite lucky. I am queen of my castle. I get to decide what my living space looks like and how much space I get to dedicate to my witchy and tarot. I don't want to say it's not a hobby, it's definitely not a hobby, it's a lifestyle, but I get to decide how much of my living space I dedicate to those kind of things. So in that way, I'm really, really lucky. So yeah, let's go a bit closer and take a look. Okay, so we're starting with my tarot card. Basically on the top shelf, I have all my Wild Woman and Kaliak decks that I work with. I also have my facets of myself practice decks there as well. On the next shelf I have my everyday decks that I'm working with this month, and on the bottom shelf I have pretty much some other deity decks and some overflow decks that I tend to grab sometimes and like to have them close by me. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that I tend to change out my decks monthly. So that's obviously the middle shelf there. That gets changed up pretty much every month. So we're moving on to the table. This is I call this my overflow table. I got this. Actually found this in a skip. This overflow table, and I took it home and painted it, and it works perfectly. It tends to be. I'm just going to say disclaimer. I haven't tidied this desk. It needs to be dusted and cleaned. So this is how it usually looks, I have to say. And this overflow table, I try to keep this as free as possible so that when I'm like working with spell work or tarot or anything like that, I have room to work, put my books that I'm reading or using, or my journal that I'm using, or anything that I need extra space for, without having it all piled onto my desk and not having the space. So moving a bit closer to this overflow table, which is obviously overflowing with goodies. I've got what's it called, an oracle deck that I'm working with, which is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. I've got the Bonfire Tarot out, which I want to work with for Aries season. I've edged mine in this super duper hot pink and yellow. Those are obviously the guidebooks for these two. Then I've got my altered book, which I'm working on, my altered book project. There's videos of this on my channel if you want to take a look. And I've got a water magic book there because it's sitting here as a reminder. I really want to get some more into working with that element in my practice. I do work with moon water, but I really want to get into more water magic, so that's why that book is sitting there to remind me to read it. These little babies I purchased secondhand from eBay. They came they come maybe 2 weeks ago, and I've been using them like non-stop since then. They are fantastic. I use them as an extra level, or layer should I say, to my tarot and oracle readings, so they are fantastic. So that's those. Oh, excuse me. No points for camera work here, just FYI. This is a little candle burner, a little incense burner that I got secondhand. Oops, if I can get the lid back on. Not easy with one hand. We've got a candle snuffer, also secondhand, and we've got my incense holder. Then here we've got a beautiful bowl, which I also purchased secondhand. I'm just going to say, from the get-go, the majority of things that I have are thrifted, second hand, found at boot fairs, found at flea markets, all that kind of thing. I love that kind of stuff. I don't tend to buy new. Yeah, this is a whole, bowl of different kind of crystals. We've got flower agate, Madagascar agate, what's this called? Fossilized wood. There's loads of goodies in there. Smoky quartz. I've got some stones that I found in there. There's tourmaline in there. There's peach selenite. Oh, there's loads of stuff. And I have these here. They're all very earthy stones, very grounding stones. So that's why they are there. Then I've got some card drawers that I've pulled. They're sitting there as a reminder. These drawers you would have seen on my latest thrifted finds video. And I haven't put anything in there yet because I'm thinking about putting my arts and crafts bits and pieces in there, so it's close to my desk, but I haven't decided. So that's still, just waiting. There's no rush to fill it. This is my crystal journal, which you might have seen in my recent tools I've made for my craft video. I'm working through this book as well. This is the Ancestral Grimoire book. Then we have this beautiful plant. I'm going to have to back up a little bit. Being careful of my cat, who's laying right beside me on the mat. Yeah, this plant I got from Facebook on a tip page, and they just picked the person that was, put it out on Facebook, just wanted to get rid of it. And I was like, yes, please, I will definitely take care of that plant. So it's been here for quite a while, and it's growing really, really well. So it sits obviously in that spot because it's close to the light from the window. And I do really like having plants, nearby. And I have a lot of plants around where I live in my apartment. So that was the overflow table. That was the cart. There are some books and some decks underneath the table. They're basically my journal that I use daily. My what's it called? My newest journal that I've made, and some other decks, which I'm not going to go into. Anyway, so we're moving up to the top shelf. Let's have a closer look. Okay, so here we are up on the higher shelf. So we're starting with my shadow work decks. We've got the Dreamkeeper's Tarot, which is a total favourite for shadow work. We have the Oracle of Shadow and Light, which I really enjoy. Lantern Oracle, the Oscuro Tarot, and then we've got the black bag there and the guidebooks, which are for Dark Mirror, Magic of You Oracle, and the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle. This is clear crystal. I love this holder. I think she's really cute. I did have one more. It was a lady that was holding up the sphere. Unfortunately, it got knocked off. Something fell from a shelf and pulled the whole thing down. So that one broke, unfortunately. But I still have this one left, which I really enjoy. This is my Florida water, which I made myself about possibly a year ago. It looks like pea. It looks like actually very dark pea, and that somebody needs to go to the doctor if their pea looks like this. But it smells gorgeous, I promise you. And I use this for cleansing my space. Excuse me. This is a upcycled jar which I've found, and I've put all the feathers in there that I've found since I started my practice 2 years ago. This I made, it's a little air symbol from some twigs that I found in the woods. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about the dodgy camera work. And I like to have this high up on the shelf because I have 2 kitty cats and I don't want them getting into the feathers. Here we've got some divination bits and pieces. This box here, I got also, surprise, second hand. That holds my pendulums. I have 2 or 3 in there. Underneath, if you can get a better view there, I've got my cauldron, which obviously I use to burn things in. And even, charcoal discs and that kind of thing. I'm going to pan out a little bit here so you can see this branch a little bit better. Hopefully you can see this. Let's see if I can get it there. This branch I found in the woods, and it totally resonated with me for, what's it called? It reminded me of antlers, and sprouts and branches generally are resonating for me with the practice that I'm working with. So this had to come home with me. My disco ball, because obviously, you know, everybody needs a disco ball on their witchy space, don't they? No, it's just me. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so that's the top shelf. We're moving on to the next shelf. Okay, next shelf down. So we're starting on the left. We've got a Compendium of Witches, the book there. I do have the mass market version of that deck, and I absolutely love it. I would even go as far as to say it's like my favourite deck, actually. And I really wanted to buy the book, which I bought from the creator, I think from the UK. Which of course you don't need to buy the extra book at all. You can definitely use the deck with the book that comes with it. But I really wanted the book as well, so I purchased that and I love it. Wild Soul Runes and even Book of Seances, they are books that are sitting there waiting to be read. Then I have some journals which are for my wild woman practice. Women Who Remember the Wolves, that's the book I use for bibliomancy. And then I've got some extra guidebooks here from the decks I'm using, which are in my cart. And Between the Worlds, this deck, which I haven't worked with very much actually, just at the minute. This is a little spell vessel, which I'm not going to go into. We've got a little ornament, I'm going to say. Some hyperstones, I think they're called in English. Don't know if you can see that. It's got lines across the stone. Very pretty. Anyway, two of those. And then moving along here, we have my, if you just focus, please, camera. This is my abundance altar. Very small altar. And we've got an abundance spell jar going on back there as well. I tend to have bells on my spell jars generally because I feel that it kind of activates the spell. I tend to, you know, I have I'm going to say like an incantation that I say when I'm working with that spell jar, and I tend to say the incantation at the same time as I'm moving the spell jar in a clockwise direction. Yeah, it works for me. It totally works for me. Anyway, what else have we got here? Yeah, here we have my travel altar. But just at the minute, because I'm not travelling anywhere, it has my divination tools in it. So for instance, it's got my runes in it. It's got my charm casting set. What else has it got in there? My runes, my charm casting set. There's something else. Doll parts. And there's one more thing which I can't think of. Oh, my dice as well. It's got my dice in there as well. These are clear quartz. And then moving along here to the right a little bit, these are the shelves that I made. I made them out of cardboard, which I'm really happy with. Painted them black and then like edged them in like some gold, which I really like. We've got some selenite here. We've got some amethyst, which I'm really drawn to at the minute. I'm totally, you know, head over heels in love with amethyst at the minute, which is really unusual. I don't generally tend to be drawn to amethyst. More amethyst here. This is Fire and Ice quartz, clear quartz. Can't remember what that one's called. This beauty was given to me by a work colleague, and they'd found it when they were out years and years ago. They found it, and they were like, "Do you want this? Otherwise, we're going to, you know, throw it back out into nature because we found it in nature." I was like, "Yes, please, I'll have that. Thank you very much." It's gorgeous, and this isn't dirt. This is actually, you know, in the stone. So it looks like it's dirty, but it's not. It's beautiful. Anyway, so that sits there. Orca agate, I think it's called. Brimstone aventurine, I think it's called. We're moving to the next shelf. But I just got to say, I'm totally impressed with that shelf. That's the first time I've made anything like that. And, you know, I'm really impressed with my skills, I've got to say. You know, I'm happy that, you know, I was able to make it from a cardboard box. And, yeah. I'm a happy bunny. Moving on to the next shelf. Okay, so the next shelf, this is my ancestral altar. I like having it on this shelf because I can see it when I'm sitting at my desk. I'm looking straight at my ancestors, which I really, really like. So we're starting to the far left-hand side. This is, I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully the light is good enough. This is a picture of Melusina. And I became really drawn to Melusina once I started researching my ancestors. And I didn't know anything about her. And once I started researching, I just felt really, really drawn to her. And I started searching for her, or researching her, should I say, because I made some discovery in connection with my ancestors way, 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 way back. And there's some, yeah, it's just a connection to my ancestors, you know, very many hundred years back in time. So I totally felt drawn to Melacina. I'm going to do a different video on that, so I'll explain that in a different video. So keep a lookout for that. But I will just say, when I started, looking into Melacina, I was shopping one day, and I was on the way back with my shopping, and I walked past some apartments, and outside the apartments was grass. It was grass outside of the apartments, and it was pouring with rain that day, and I found this on the grass filled with water. Now I've just got to say, I don't live near a beach. I live like 2 hours from the beach, and it was totally random. And I was like, well, that's strange. And was totally on, like, looking into Melacina, which kind of, it totally felt like a sign. So I picked it up and brought it home, obviously, and popped it on my, I'm going to say, Melacina shrine. And then I was working for, last summer for the council, and I was mowing the same lawn outside those apartments. And without realising it, I mowed over another one of those shells, which was totally random, because why would there be another one of these large shells just on the grass? It was so random. Anyway, it's very bizarre. I haven't gotten to the bottom of it, but it's very bizarre. Anyway, so I've got some angelite here. I've got some more shells to honour Melacina. I've got keys, which for me symbolise, opening and unlocking. I've got a little bell here, which I purchased from the charity shop. I've got some, obviously, some pictures of my ancestors up and around. These are some of the decks that I work with my ancestors. This is the, I'm blanking on the name. I'm going to put the name on the screen for you. This is the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. This is the Goddess Temple Oracle, and this is Angels and Ancestors Oracle. Then we've got some other stones here. We've got Shaman Stone and Ancestral Light, I think it's called. We've got Pre-Night Sphere here. This is my Spirit Guide candle, which is always lit for my on this shelf. Then we've got a cabinet which is full of pictures of my ancestors and some items that belong to my ancestors. There's also some obsidian. There's an obsidian skull in there. There's some green calcite and a pre-night skull. There's also a representation of a butterfly and a feather that I found. And some more crystals at the bottom. They're jasper mucolite, which I really, associate with my ancestors. Then just below here, we've got some what's this one called? I want to say celestite. No, wait. I'm going to put the name on the screen. I can't remember what it's called. And I've got some pre-night here again. I can't remember what this one's called. I'm going to put this on the screen for you. And a quartz. This is Angel Wing Agate. We've got some more pictures here, and we've got this is my favourite deck to work with with the ancestors, which is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. I've got some card pulls here, and a little bell, which is also from the charity shop. Now I have already done a tour of this altar space in my ancestor practice video, if you wanted to go back and look at that. Yeah, so we're moving down to the next shelf. Okay, so this is what I see when I'm sitting at my desk and filming my videos. Obviously you recognise the green mat from the videos that I've put out on YouTube on my channel. So we're going to go a bit closer, and we're going to take a closer look at what's going on over here. Okay, so as mentioned, and the majority of the things I've got on my desk are second-hand finds. So we're going to start with this little beauty. I've shown this before in my thrifted second-hand finds. I love this. As you can see, it sits a little matchbox here, which is easy to open and strike up. And then the dead matches go in this little dish, which I really enjoy. This is cedar, which I've bound myself. I've found myself and bound myself. And there's even some Palo Santo and some sage, which I don't tend to use very often, I have to say. I tend to stick with cedar. This is my ancestral candle. Let's see if I can get this in frame for you. No points for camera work, I do apologise. This is my ancestral candle, which I've got some ancestral crystals here that I work with as well. Well, they're not ancestral crystals, but they're crystals that I work with when I work with my ancestors. There's a whole bunch of different things there. I'll put some names on the screen for you so you can see what they are. I'm not going to go through those. Let's just pop this out of the way so I can give you a better view. Okay, so in the corner here, I've got a bit of a representation of the Kaliak. This is the Kaliak's candle. It's a little cauldron. There's lots of different blue stones in here, and I like that for her. Then we've got hagstone, a shell, some stones that I've picked up, which I felt called to pick up for her. Pieces of wood. Now this shape really resonates with me, and it's generally this shape. I'm going to show you a little bit further back there. That shape I picked up a long time ago before I started feeling drawn to the Kaliak. And then, recently I picked up this shape, and it didn't really occur to me that I was being drawn to the same shapes until I kind of got this piece of raw obsidian home as well. And this is very, I didn't choose this shape. It just, I ordered it online, and it was just a raw piece of obsidian. I didn't know what shape the piece of obsidian would come in. And this is the shape that turned up, which totally, reminds me of the shape at the back, and this shape down here, and this shape here. This totally reminds me of a crow's head, although I don't, I don't feel particularly, or don't work with crows. I don't feel particularly drawn to crows, but that shape is definitely resonating for me. Anyway, so as mentioned, we've got some hagstones, we've got some pieces of wood that really resonate for me that I've picked up for the Kaliak. Then at the back, we've got a little pedestal, which I also got at a charity shop. We've got rose quartz skull. We've got, I think the stone's called kunzite. And we've got some more rose quartz on the right hand side there. Moving to the centre here, let's just pan out a wee bit here. This altar space is for my facets of myself practice. This is like to have as a constant reminder when I'm sitting at my desk. Let's just move a little bit closer. Now these Russian dolls I got a long time ago from the charity shop, and recently I was sitting on the sofa here where I am, behind me, and I was, before this kind of practice had started, or was just kind of taking form, and it suddenly struck me that the Russian dolls reminded me of versions of myself. Now the facets of myself practice is really about me, or a part of it is about me accepting that, there are some versions of myself that no longer resonate for me, and it's okay to allow those versions of myself. It's okay to let them go. I don't need to be the same person I was 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. It's personal growth, and everybody's allowed to change and and develop and grow as a person. We don't have to be the same versions of ourselves as we always have been, and we can't be either with things that happen throughout our lives. So this really resonated for me with the versions of myself that I need to stop feeling guilty, that I'm not the versions of myself anymore. Oh, I feel like I'm babbling, but I do hope it makes sense. It totally makes sense to me. I'm sorry if I'm explaining it badly. Yes, you are correct. There is an onion on my altar. The onion for me represents, peeling back the layers, getting to the centre of things, peeling back layer by layer, working through things slowly and just getting to the heart of the matter, at the centre of the, I don't want to say the word issue, but getting to the centre of things. Yeah. This is a piece of amethyst. The facets totally resonated for me with this practice, so that's why that's there. We've got some clear quartz, we've got some amethyst, we've got, ooh, what's this one called? Ammonite? No. I'm going to put the name on the screen, I can't remember, sorry. And then around here we've got some ocean agate, we've got some, we've got a boulder opal. This one's called Crow. Oh, I'm going to put the names on the screen. I'm sorry. I buy my what's the word? I don't live in England, although I speak English, and so when I purchase my crystals, they're in, what's the word? I'm having a brain fog. They are obviously named in a different language, so I can't remember what the name of them in English is. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to put the names on the screen for you. Okay, so the card at the back, that is the Death card. The Death card is my card for 2023, and that is from the Tarot of Strange Antlers. I love that deck. We've got a picture of a green snake at the back. Green snakes appear very often in my dreams. They're usually wrapped around my arm. And if you've seen any of my videos, you'll know I'm absolutely petrified of snakes, although I'm trying to work through that. But snakes for me now represent, obviously shedding of the skin, growth, even facing my fears of letting go of, the versions of myself that no longer resonate. Then I'm going to just show you this picture at the back. The bison energy has been coming through to me for quite a few months now. And I'm going to say I haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but I see the bison, like, in synchronicities very often, not just in my readings, but like out and about. I'm going to show a picture. I've just come back from shopping. I'm going to show you a picture and insert it now of the person that walked in front of me into the store. It's all very bizarre. Haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but I'm looking into that energy. And it's not an animal that would, spring to mind generally. I don't live in a country where there's bison, and it's not a favourite animal or anything. So it feels very random that the bison imagery is coming through to me, or the bison energy is coming through to me. But it's something I'm looking into anyway. So that's why that's there. That was a long explanation, wasn't it? Holy moly. Then we've got an antler. I bought that from the charity shop years and years ago. Now, I don't tend to have animal bits and pieces. Generally in my practice, I don't tend to use them because I'm a vegetarian and it doesn't resonate for me. However, as you can see from this antler's been dropped by the animal naturally. It hasn't been, sawn off, so the animal hasn't been killed, and the antler removed. It's just dropped it naturally. And as I mentioned with the branch on the top shelf that reminds me of an antler, antlers have been really resonating for me, with this practice. And I suddenly had an epiphany a few weeks ago that the antler is totally resonating for me when I did some more research into antlers generally, whereby an animal drops its antlers when the new growth is coming out from underneath, and the animal drops the antlers as well when they no longer need them after, for instance, mating season. They don't need to, I'm going to say, like, fight off other, what's the word? Other males, as it were. And also to conserve their energy, it naturally happens that the antler falls off. And that really got me thinking that, I feel like lots of things have happened to me, especially the last 10 years, that I've been carrying things with me that are taking a lot of my energy that I don't need to carry with me anymore. I can just let them go. And the antler really resonated with me for that reason, that, antlers are released so that the energy can be used, and conserved. So the animal's energy can be conserved with that, instead of carrying around these heavy antlers with them. during the winter season, when obviously, you know, there's not so much food and, you know, it's worse conditions for them, or you know, yeah. And so that really resonated for me with myself, that it's, you know, time for me to let go of things that are taking too much energy, and stopping me from moving forward. That was a long explanation. I do apologise. This whole little altar here is sitting on a cast iron dish, which I also bought secondhand. I usually use that for burning candles on. And then it's also sitting on this wooden plate here. And I have a friend that also works in the council, and the council were taking down trees a few months ago. And I asked my friend if they would cut me a disc out of the tree. Because I wanted it for a candle holder. I had to tell them that because they don't know I'm a beginner witch. And they did. And it's perfect. And this is from a birch tree. And birch really also resonates for me. Birch trees grow, they're like the first tree to grow again after, for instance, like fire sweeps through a forest. They're the first tree to grow again. And you know, they're all about new beginnings and renewal. Yeah, so that totally resonated for me as well. I haven't sanded the disc or anything. I want it to still have the trees, you know, as much of the tree's energy left in it as possible. We've also got some odd bits of tree around, and then we've got I'm not going to go through the bits at the back, what's going on there, but I'm going to go through this. These are my grounding stones, and also my stones that help, you know, stones to help it to ground me. So there's like obsidian, there's snowflake obsidian, there is onyx, there's apachetia, there is newmite, I want to say it's called, or newite. I'll put the name on the screen. Smoky quartz, hematite, I think it's called. What's this one called? Begins with an S. I'll put it on the screen, I can't remember. Apologies. And then right at the back, this is another second-hand find. This little tear. I think it's made for candy, actually. And I felt it totally fitted for, you know, crystals. So these are my meditation crystals. Down here I've got some stones I use when I'm casting a circle. This is I want to say it's called Priscelli blue. It's the same kind of stone that Stonehenge is made out of. And this totally resonates for me also with my ancestral practice. That's why I use these kind of stones with circle casting, because I feel it's like it totally resonates for me with my ancestors and with protection, and with, you know, ancient wisdom. So that's that. I've got a little statue of Bastet, and that's Bastet's offering bowl. When I find my kiddies, what are they called, whiskers about the place, I pop them in her bowl, as well as their shards of claws. They also go in there. This is a little bag of raw garnets, which an ex-boyfriend of mine, like 20 years ago, brought me back from holiday. Anyway, yeah, and so they are in there as a little offering as well. Right at the back, we have all sets, a little shrine there, a little honouring for her, and we have all sets offering bowl there as well. Right at the back, there's another little spell vessel there, which I'm not going to go into. This is all sets and Bastet's candle here, which has got some lapis and some red jasper around it. You can see that. I keep forgetting to take the camera with me to show you. I was just standing here pointing at stuff, and I forget to take you closer so you can see. I hope this is going to be okay and you can see what I'm talking about. Then we've got Pandora's box. This is my shadow work tool, sorry. Selenite, black tourmaline. This I use in my shadow work practice. I'm going to link the video so you can see how I use that. And then we come to a bit of an overflow of crystals here. We've got a lot of amethyst because that's what I'm working with. I'm feeling totally drawn to amethyst. We've We've got a Merlin stone. We've got some fluorite. We've got some wait, what's it called? Lumerian quartz, maybe? I think it's called that. If it's not called that, I'll put the name on the screen. We've got some skeleton quartz here. Stitchite, I believe this is called. I think this is called sugalite. I'm going to put the name on the screen if I've said it incorrectly. And this is something beginning with S, which I can't remember how to say it, so I'm going to write it on the screen so you know what it is. As you can see, I do like crystals, but as mentioned, I am working with amethyst right at the minute. Also got some raw amethyst here, which I love. I tend to carry this around in my, can I say bra on YouTube? It's true. It's very true. I tend to carry this around in my bra. Not very comfortable, but I really do like it. Anyway, and this is, begins with L. I'm going to put the name on the screen. I'm so terribly sorry. It's raw anyway. It's a raw piece of that stone. I'm going to put the name on the screen. Apologies. Yeah. Focus would be lovely here. So yeah, that's pretty much my desk area. I think we're pretty much done. It kind of feels like we're pretty much done. So yeah, what say you? Do you have a witchy or tarot area? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care, and hope to see you next time. Toodaloo.